But I wanted for a sinus and ear infection. That one's a bad years ago, but yeah.
That's what I went into.
You know, it's like there was no real consistency or anything.
Yeah, I'm a lot better now. A lot better than what I told you.
But the whole lovely up there, that's good. Well, that's why we can play spit ones. He's a target.
Well, let's see here.
Thank you so much for going through that.
I'll get you a plate of stuff. And I'll do.
Thanks.
If I do the line notes, but if I don't, call me. Give me. You know.
Okay.
And this is going to help because I got one more final review of the P&L before I send it out to the.
Mr. President, can I just have the floor before we get started?
Go ahead.
That was my attempt to make Rice Krispie treats.
Delicious.
Well, anyway, I was going to try something new, and I put candy bars on the bottom, and then put the Rice Krispie on top, and came to be.
Oh.
But the chocolate, when I cut them, they didn't set up. It was all gooey and stuff. So anyway, make a long story short, I had to turn them over so the stuff. Anyway, so they look kind of bad, but I think they taste better than they look. So.
Greg, have you ever heard the story of Ruth Wakefield?
No.
Ruth Wakefield ran a little inn in Massachusetts, and she had a large mixer, and there was an accident where it knocked it vibrated, and a couple of chocolate bars fell into her mix. That was the invention of chocolate chip cookies at the Toll House Inn in Massachusetts. And what a different world it would be if Ruth Wakefield had said, "Oh, that's not what I wanted," and threw it away. There'd be a world without chocolate chip cookies. All right, I'm concerned we may not have a quorum. Call to order at 6:38. We'll have our flag salute. Let me make sure those on Zoom are able to join us. Am I muted? No, I am not. All right, so if Susie's there, she's the only person on Zoom. She'll be able to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America,
republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
with liberty and justice. All right. And I don't think I can make myself very visible
Do you have the
on Zoom.
agenda?
I have the agenda. It's right here.
You want to hit print? And I'll make some copies for people.
Can I print from here? Let's find out.
Is the printer turned on?
Let's see. Let's find out. Copies. How many are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
12.
12. Okay.
That's your number of people here.
Black and white. Print.
Oh, well, we've got 10 here, correction.
Do we have a quorum? President Matthew Barrett, here. Vice President Chandra Kay, not here yet. Treasurer Brandy Wallace. Secretary Kayla Sullivan has just joined us on Zoom. Oh, and so did Chandra Kay. All right, we've got a quorum.
I think you have to plug the USB into the printer and then it'll start printing.
Plug the USB into the printer.
Yeah, the port.
Okay.
Take the computer into there, put it in the USB, and then it will print.
All right.
Never mind. Okay. Unless Chandra can print it from home here.
Yeah.
She has that capability.
Secretary Kayla Sullivan is here. Board members, Sally Gill,
Here.
Ashley Bridges, Susie Mapes. That was amazing how you did that. You were online just a second ago. Cheryl Elfstrand. All right, we have a quorum. Do we have a sign-in sheet for the members? Sally, you want to start one up for us?
Sure.
Thank you. And Kayla's on the job. Appreciate that, Kayla. Reading and adoption of March 2023 general meeting minutes. I don't believe that those were sent out.
March, or it should be.
Oh, it should be April
Should be
or
May.
May. Oh my gosh. All right, let me change that. Yeah, so we need to read and adopt the May minutes. Not sure the best way to do that.
We can always do it in the board. Through the board,
Okay.
executive.
All right. So the reading and adoption of the minutes will be tabled for the board meeting. Okay. Reading of communications. Anyone on Zoom? Oh, let's see. What do we got in the chat? Oh, we've got Chandra K. Oh, has the sign-in sheet. Unfortunately, we don't have the means to print it at the moment.
What is the 3 section? Name of the other 2?
Oh, yes. The 3 sections, name, role, and signature.
They're just saying, they're just signing.
Okay.
Is that your pen or the circulation pen? I have one. Most everyone has their own.
All right. As far as reading of communications, anything else to be read? Maybe not.
I have one thing that I wanted to bring to attention of the club members.
Yes.
I did receive an email today from Comcast that somebody during yesterday had downloaded illegal BitTorrent. For it was a movie, and I don't know who, where, or whatever, but just a reminder that when you're using the club's internet, please make sure you're using it for legal purposes and nothing else.
Unfortunately, as much as I agree with everything you just said, my concern is, isn't our Wi-Fi accessible even when the club is locked?
Yes, and that may be something that we need to adjust.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. We may have to add the password back on and not allow for guest accessibility because, yeah, they were downloading illegal movies and we got noticed for it.
Yep. Okay. See, this is how it goes. Huh?
I put the password back on.
Yeah. One person ruins it for everybody else.
Well, can't you have it limited on Comcast, that they can't, that it doesn't rent movies out?
No, they didn't.
Well,
rent it,
they
downloaded
did it.
it.
They used BitTorrent so that they
They sold the net. Did whatever.
yeah. I mean, it's very difficult to limit it at that level. Let's see, let me share screen so that those online can see what we're doing here.
Is the password protected?
It is, but the password is common knowledge. Well, oh, actually, yeah, that's right. We removed the password, didn't we?
Yes, this was for a someone who was using our guest internet, which does not require a password. So
I
that is
see.
something that we may have to correct because it is being used inappropriately.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. Okay. Let's put that on the agenda for the board meeting. Best way to handle that. That's a shame.
Everybody sign this.
I haven't. I started, I didn't find it.
And what's the best way to get that to Kayla? I suppose, Sally, can you take a picture of that and post it to the GroupMe, the leadership GroupMe?
This one?
Yeah, that way Kayla would be able to see it. It's probably the best.
I have my phone.
Oh, you don't? You can do it? Okay, that'd be great.
My phone was dead.
Any other reading of communications? Report of committees, membership. Kayla and Chandra, what do we got to report?
We've had a couple people sign up for memberships recently online. I was just pulling that up as you were talking about it. It was, where is that? Pardon me for a second.
Can everyone hear her?
Barely.
Barely. I'm gonna try and get her up on the speakers here. There's got to be a way. I've done it before.
You should be able to just connect it to the Bluetooth and make sure the speakers are on.
Yeah.
That my webcam and microphone on this particular computer is going out, so I do apologize. It's probably me.
Let's see.
Okay,
STRDH190.
yes.
Oh, there's a yes.
Yeah. All right. Keep talking, Chandra.
Okay, I'm just looking for the newest member so that we can get that.
Success.
It was for there it is. Okay. For Elaine Burton. So Elaine Burton is our newest member. And I'm not sure how she heard about us, but she purchased her membership. So other than that, there's nothing new for members. We are currently at 85 members.
Pretty good. How does Elaine spell her first name?
Let me pull that back up.
Very curious.
There you go. I believe it was Elaine.
Elaine Burton is a member of my Rotaries. That's very interesting. I'll talk with her about that.
Perfect. Well, welcome her to the club. Other than that, I think that's everything for membership.
All right. Thank you very much. Next committee to report. Let's see. That would be finance.
And she's passing the baby.
We'll give her a second. We'll give her a second.
I shorted you. I'll give you mine in a minute.
And
right.
for those who are speaking, if possible, if you can get as close as you can to the computer for now to increase our audio.
How's this, Chandra? This better? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm trying to mute out the background noise because my kids are here and I keep muting at the wrong time.
Okay. So just a couple highlights first, and then I'll go into the numbers, right? Okay. So our accountant extended our 2022 filing tax deadline because we are a nonprofit. Our taxes are due May 15th. And I was not able to get that to them by then. So they've extended it, received the official letter from IRS saying that they've granted it. And I should have that to the accountant here within the next 30 to 60 days. I think they've extended it until November, but I'll get it to them way before then. We renewed our insurance for 2023 with the new insurance provider. Haven't had any issues. I don't think, right? We switched providers last year and they seem to be good. But that's what happens when you don't have any claims, right?
Yeah.
The Kitsap County Public Health food permit renewal is due, I think, July. So I got the notification. I'll be sending that payment out this week. I renewed the bingo and raffle gambling commission's license, as well as the bingo manager's license. And then the raffle manager's license is due by the end of July, but I have to wait 45 days prior to that to get hers renewed. So I'll do hers in the next couple of weeks. The first quarterly reports for our third-party vendor that processes our payroll was a success. They filed all the reports for payroll. I just got to reach out to them. There's a couple, LNI and the federal, I believe it was IRS, just showed a balance due. They're pretty small, like one was $70 and the other one's like $200. So I just have to figure out what percentage they're using and see if they can adjust it so that way it comes out of the payroll and not me making a secondary payment to get caught up on the reporting fees, payments, however you want to word that. So that's good. So let's see what else. The good thing is that so what we used to do for payroll is we would pay the employees and then quarterly go and report it to the 5 different agencies like LNI, Department of Revenue, all of them. And so you would see 2 separate transactions, one for payroll, and then at the quarterly, you'll see all of the different transactions for those government agencies associated with payroll. You won't see that breakdown anymore because one, our payroll third party is taking it out of our account right when they make the payroll. What we would do is we would make payroll, only pay the employee their allotted amount, and then we would hold into the bank account the estemated amount that we'd have to pay those government agencies, and then report it separately. So now it's just all done at once. Like I said, you won't see those, but I have access to the software program that will run any type of reports that you want. If you want to know how much we paid LNI, how much we paid the Family Paid Medical Leave Act, whether it's on the employer side or the employee side, I can run all of those reports. I do download those every month and every payroll. So that way I have them in my system. So that way, if for some reason there's something wrong with their software, I at least have all the reports up to date up to each payroll cycle. So there's that. So when you look at the payroll reports for this year, bingo and janitorial is approximately about $3,000 a week for payroll, and then the club payroll is about $500 a week. And again, that includes, it's all inclusive, it's all the taxes and everything. So we'll see that. The general account, did not have enough funds to pay what are we in? May's general bills. So there was a transfer from the bingo account to the general account of $2,000. I just mailed off June's payments, and there is just about enough to make June's payments. And most likely I'll have to make another transfer again from bingo account to the general account to make the day-to-day utility bills. And again, those are just garbage, PSE, the electric, Wi-Fi, what are the other ones we pay? Security, the alarm. Those are just the monthly expenses that we have. So with that, as of today, before I left my home to attend this meeting, the bingo account, bank account balance is $20,707.38. The general account balance is $2,474.96. The raffle account is $3,593.06. Working capital is a total of $3,100. So $1,200 for the bingo day-to-day, $1,000 for, $100 for petty cash for the kitchen. And I have about $1,800 cash now, as I have to deposit the last two kitchen monies. And then I always keep a capital of about 1,000 so I can change out the petty cash, 5s, 10s, 20s type of things. So with that, total cash that we have for the club is $29,875.40. The CDs as of today, 8 CDs, total $223,004.42. So if you take the total CDs and the total cash, the club's worth is $252,879.82. And that summary report was handed out to the members who have attended today's public meeting. And then I will make sure I get this to the treasurer for her to record the finance report. Any questions?
What happened in 2000? It said opened the CDs?
What's that?
COVID.
So
COVID
those
happened.
are the days, that is the year that I show that the CDs were actually opened. So yeah, I have the, to the left of the column is actual the CD number, the amount that we opened it with. So I've hid those columns. I should have just hidden that column. So it doesn't matter to you guys, but yeah, that's the amount that they purchased the CD, or that's the year that they purchased the CD. That makes sense?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
like, they had a lot of money in 2000.
They did. Oh,
So from what you just said, we're putting out $3,500 per week on payroll.
yes.
And so that would be $182,000 a year.
Yep.
So basically we need to do a little more fundraising and giving, to balance that out, because that should be, we should be able to do that and have the bingo separate.
Yes. When I'll have to do a comparison report from last year to this year, because you won't be able to do apples to apples, because last year's payroll numbers won't include the taxes that we pay. So in this year's it will. So I'll be able to run those reports and extract them out so I can give you apples to apples, or add the payroll taxes and give you apples to apples. But yeah. So I mean, I can report from my perspective of working with the numbers in the club's financial state. I can tell you that the club's doing good. You guys aren't in a position to make a ton of revenue. I mean, it's just, you're just shuffling accounts around, but at the end of the day, you're making money. There's some areas that need some adjusting. Whether we need to raise some prices, or maybe we need to reduce some hours. But that's going to be a board decision. But I can tell you that the club's doing good. You're going to hear me transfer from bingo over to general account. I know that sounds scary because the number is going down and down and down. But the way that the club has it set up is that bingo is making all the money. The general account is expending all the money, but there's no revenue. So until you make those even, then you'll have a true balance of how bingo is doing versus a general account. And the general account is your events, your rentals, membership, so those aren't the healthiest of the funds when you compare it to all the expenses that go out. So we just have to make a board decision of how we're going to split those expenses. So
Very good.
yeah. So, but overall the club's doing good, but it's not.
So the vision that the board and I have been talking about is that bingo's doing good. We want other forms of income to get into the black and stay there. So rentals and events need to, so is that consistent?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know what we're working on.
And the payroll is scary, right? Because you're like 3,500 a week. I mean, that's a lot for a small organization, but you also have to understand that the bingo, they're having more attendance, they're having more people, so the more people that you have, the more expense that you're going to have. And that's the bulk of expense of any, right? Yeah. That's the bulk expense of any company really. Yep. And then it's going to be the same thing with your events and your rentals. The more that you market and the more that you want to be profitable, you're going to have that expense with the payroll side. So, yeah, I think there's been talk about maybe even raising the rental pricing. I can't remember if we've done that or not, but I know it's in the works.
Well,
so yeah.
Yeah. The rental is probably the next area where we're going to look to see what the best way to extract the most value out of it.
Yeah. So, yeah. And that's good. I mean, as a nonprofit, I mean, you guys are good in that, that you're not having all this extra surplus of money that you're not doing anything with. You guys are circulating it pretty good, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Matthew, really quickly, can you just scroll down a little bit on the share screen so that we can see the notes that Brandy is making?
Yeah. Let's see here.
Here's the sheet here. Oh, I can take a picture of it and send it to the group.
There we go.
Can you get it from there?
Yeah, I'm sharing it with everybody. All right. And there's a couple of comments in chat. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, totally understand, Kayla. It is a lot of numbers to type.
I'm sending it to her right now.
Yeah.
And I got my notes too. I'll send that to you. Let me show you.
All right. We're still working out some of our systems here. Thank you for your patience. Those of you online who got to see the update request from the computer that obscured the entire screen there while she's talking.
And I'm taking pictures and sending it through
the group me?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, bingo. Do we have a representative from bingo here to give a report? Under the circumstances, we will consider that the report from bingo. I mean, that's basically their books there. They are the majority of the books that you just reported.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted other numbers and stuff like that, I have those.
Yeah. All right. Building improvement.
So the only thing I can think about as far as building improvement goes as of right now, bingo has been working towards repairing some of the things that have come up. We've had the ice machine break recently. They've done everything they can to attempt to repair it and nothing has worked. They are currently looking into pricing out other units. The other thing is that we did have someone who was going to assist with our flooring. I have not heard back from them, so I'm going to touch base with somebody who had agreed to assist with it earlier, Matthew, the Ace Hardware people.
Yes.
I'm going to be touching base with you here in in the next couple days to get that information from them and see if they are still willing to assist, since the other person that we were trying to get to do the work has not followed through.
Yeah. Yeah. Stanley's folks at the Ace Hardware, they'll take good care of you.
Yeah, and something else that I wanted to bring to the membership, Farrell and I were talking about an outdoor bulletin board that would stand right outside the door. We can get them for a couple, I think we found one for less than $100, but it would basically be a bulletin board that would be show what the current menu is, show what our current rental prices are, things like that for those who are outside, that they can get updates even when the club is not open. So it would be something that would be behind plexiglass with a bulletin board. We had thought about putting it right outside the door when you're like on the storage wall, and then possibly something outside front. But it is an idea that is currently in the works.
Would
Okay.
that be on our web though? That information?
Is all that on the website already?
On the website, yes, but not for those in person, because I'm noticing that there are a lot of locals that will just come and check things out, especially from word of mouth, but they're not checking the website to follow up.
Well, wasn't there a plan to update the sign out on the corner so that it was like a
Different color.
Yes, we do have a reader board and all of the parts. We just need somebody comfortable on a ladder, and we can get that up at tomorrow. You know what I mean? But it's
okay.
It's somebody who's on. So we need somebody who is comfortable on a ladder on uneven ground, because that is it is kind of scary for some of us. But we have all of the pieces to set up the slides. And create a letter reader board, not a digital, but so that's, if we can find a volunteer to do that, we can get that going ASAP.
Okay. Did I see the Scoutmaster nodding over here? Is that a volunteer?
When is that? It's not quote tomorrow, is it?
No, they're asking, when are you comfortable getting up on a ladder, sir?
I can find mountains, I can probably do that.
Yeah, probably.
Weather. Yeah.
Okay. We have a volunteer.
That would be amazing. And if you're willing to do, you could even wait to do that at our next cleanup event. If it doesn't have to be, it's whatever we have somebody available to do it, because some of us are just not comfortable on a ladder. And
all right, Chandra, do you have the Scoutmaster's number?
I do not. If you would be willing to give him my number, we can talk that way.
Yeah, I'll introduce the two of you. So there's two things you need to follow up with me on.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so I like the idea of telling the locals the menu.
Well, it would be the menu, the cost of rentals currently, when our bingo events are held, and our current newsletter. So it would basically just be a way for those when our hours are not open, that they can still get the information if they're walking up.
And the website.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And the website, direct them to the website, even if we had something.
I can put even a QR code there that they can scan as well, but it would be just a way. And even if we just had one, that was something that Farrell and I had discussed recently, or just over the Artisan Market weekend. So new idea that we wanted to present.
Speaking of which, why don't you give us a report for events and entertainment? How'd the Artisan Marketplace go?
So the Artisan Marketplace, we had a decent amount of vendors, but we are still struggling with foot traffic. We increased our signage. I added, we had signs, balloons, and arrows to lead everybody here. We had Facebook, we had our website, we had Valpak, and we still were not getting as many people as we would have liked. But we also have a tendency of picking our events on the same time that everybody else picks their events. So there was a lot of competition that we were working with.
Okay. Is that a hand up? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Who won the 50-50?
Greg's asking who won the 50-50.
So that was one thing I wanted to bring up, that as far as the 50-50, it did not go down the way it was thought. I thought that we were doing a 50-50 and the raffle manager had actual prizes. Karen Mitchell actually won one of the prizes, which is in the office. If somebody wants to give that to Greg, that can go home with Karen.
What was the prize?
It's a basket that was donated. It's got in the office there, the raffle ticket is taped to the prize.
Found it.
Perfect. So that is something since we've recently started offering the raffles, Shonda and I are getting more organized as far as what we are and are not able to do at events. And that was our error, and we figured out what it was, and it will not happen again.
Okay. So, on that note, actually, there was something else. Oh, publicity for the event.
A question about events and entertainment.
Okay, go ahead.
So when it comes to like items for the 50-50 and like the basket, do we purchase those, or is that something that we ask for in-kind donations?
Okay.
So the baskets that were offered for raffle were actually donated. And so those were in-kind donations that were raffled off.
Okay. And the 50-50 is intended to be where they get half the pot, half the money that comes in.
However, when it came to the
50-50 gifts.
False. So yes, the 50-50 was supposed to be just cash only. However, when it comes to bingo, the bingo patrons had no interest because the pot was not getting high enough. So our bingo and our raffle representatives made the call, and it was a good call in my opinion, to start offering baskets and things that were actually desired, because the 50-50 raffle was only getting up to like $30 and they weren't interested. Once they started offering baskets and things like that to raffle off, the raffle money was actually showing up.
Okay. Interesting.
So they were not interested in the 50-50 raffle. It was not a popular thing during bingo. So they are following the letter to the law of what they are allowed to do as far as raffles go. And that's where the cost for the raffle came out of the budget, because they were purchasing actual baskets that people were more interested in winning.
Okay. So if that's the case, we should probably just stop calling that a 50-50. I don't mind if that's what draws people's attention, whatever gets people donating. But yeah, we should, for the sake of clarity, we should probably stop calling it a 50-50.
So they were still offering the 50-50, but it wasn't getting used. So they were just doing a raffle instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Regarding publicity, there was a thing we were talking about doing at one point where we required all artisans in the marketplace to put out Facebook posts to their collective, their community, and tell people, advertise for their event to their patrons. So that would be something that would be required of anyone who joined the artisan marketplace. Sally.
I tried, but it would not allow me to share it. It would allow me to share it within the vendors and allow me to share it within the club, but not on my general.
Well, this doesn't require that it be shared. You could type up your own post and say, "Hey, everybody, I'm gonna."
That too.
So yeah.
But I mean, it didn't.
Well, the question is, that was something that we talked about in the past of making it a requirement of being a part of the artisan marketplace, just trying to get everybody's signal out. Is that something that we're doing? Or, I mean, obviously individual patrons are doing so, but is that something that we're making a requirement?
I don't know if I would say it's a requirement. It is highly suggested in order to assist our vendors in getting that foot traffic.
Yeah.
I cannot require it, because then there would be a follow-up. And so I can highly recommend it. I can highly suggest it. And that's basically what it was done. We did do the live feeds. We shared on multiple groups. We had over 2.5 thousand people who were actually viewed and saw our advertisements. So it's not for lack of viewing, but I do think there is, we have found that there are certain keywords that people are turned off. Artisan marketplace is one of them. So we are looking into, instead of just doing an artisan marketplace, we are looking at doing, just a sale, just a vendor sale or things like that. We're trying out different things to see what is drawing people. And when people come in, I've been trying to ask, so how did you hear about us? And things like that, in order to get an idea. And we had quite a few people who said, I didn't know anything about you guys until I found you during Valpak.
So Valpak has definitely shown itself to be a good investment. That's good.
For both the bingo and for us. We just need to make sure that for future they have the correct dates and things like that. But yes, Valpak has been doing its job. We have it on our website. We have emails being sent out. We have flyers being sent out. We are sharing, appropriate events to Peach Jar as well. But it's a hit or miss, because you never know what's going to draw people and what's not.
Okay.
We did have plans to advertise to the Kitsap Sun, but once I got the approval rate, it took too much time for them to get everything. By the time they would have gotten our most recent advertisement, it would have been past the event time. So that's why it was not utilized this time, but it is something that we are going to add to our budget, or I'm going to pitch to add to our budget for publicity to utilize that.
Sounds good. Yes, Greg.
At the last board meeting, and I don't want to put everybody on the spot, but it was suggested that the information to be given on the TV would be tabled for the general meeting, so everybody could get a little summary of what took place and how many people showed up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the report on the Mother's Day tea. There was supposed to be a report on that today as well.
Okay, let me pull that up real quick.
Okay.
Oh. The reason I say that is because I think it's important for the membership or the prospective membership people to know what's going on with the club.
Oh, absolutely.
They do.
Oh, no. I mean, you're exactly right. We did need a report on that. The membership needs to know what happened there.
And if it was successful.
Yeah.
It cost us more money to put it on than it did.
I'm just curious, did the new member by chance, were they asked if they play an instrument? I'm still trying to get a band to go together. So.
Well, I know if we can get the president of my Rotary, she plays an instrument. She's actually on a band. Well, no, she's not in a band retreat anymore.
She member?
Of West End, no, not yet. But now I want to text Elaine Burton and ask her why she joined the club. Everyone's just full of surprises.
Well, at the artisan market, anyone new that I saw, I was trying to encourage them to join.
Yes, we just have to be careful that our encouragement is not pushing too hard. That was something that somebody pulled me aside and was like, you know, I understand you guys are looking for members, but I felt really pressured.
Oh, wow. Okay, good to know.
Something that we need to be aware of, that we are encouraging, but not pressuring.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling them how they could get discounts.
Yeah, there you
as
go.
a vendor, if they're members. To encourage them to join.
Okay.
Sorry, as far as the tea party comes, I'm having a hard time finding my notes that I was using before.
That's fine. I just sent a text to Elaine.
I did have a, there we go. Okay, so we had about 15 people who joined us. Most did take advantage of the buy two, get one free, because that was how we were encouraging the mothers to participate. I'm not finding the spreadsheet that I'm looking for. We had a better turnout this year than last year, and we had less for expenses. And a lot of the decorations that we used for the Alice in Wonderland Tea Party can be reused for the next tea party, which we have talked about doing some kind of a fairy garden and things like that. So we are making sure that anything that we are purchasing can be reused for future events as well.
Yeah, it was good to see all the donated tea sets and everything get used.
Yes.
The one-time investment, and we're getting so much more out of it.
And it is something that we're hoping to do 2 times a year. So we'll have like a spring tea party and a fall tea party.
Love it.
That is the goal, so that we can make it an ongoing tradition. The food was actually well received. It cost us about $250 for the food, and then when we got, it was about $300, I believe, and I don't have the numbers in front. I'm trying to find the numbers and I can't. But it was about $300 that we received with all the tickets.
Well, in the interest of time, and I don't want to put you under pressure, why don't we do this? I'm going to scroll down and let's get a report from somebody else while you're looking for your numbers. Can we do that?
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, that is one of the problems with having you report on almost everything, is that we need to be able to give you a break while you look for your stuff.
I appreciate that.
Debbie Kerr. Yeah, come on up and tell us what's going on with Viewpoint Park. And I've actually had multiple people correct me. Is it Kerr or Curry? Curry. It's Curry. Doesn't make any difference. I thought it was Curry. And then people say it's Kerr. And other people say it's Curry.
I'm not triggered by my name. Yes, Debbie Curry here, and just a little report on the park. Before it opened in April, I had texted Matthew and let him know that there was a lock added on to the lock that we have on it, so that it could be opened also. I assumed it was the county. They're the only ones that had the combination. Anyway, contacted the county, and sure enough, it was their lock. And once I finally got a hold of someone and asked them Were they going to follow through with the rain garden idea? They had come and they'd given a presentation like almost 4 years ago now about a rain garden. Of course, COVID came in and everything, and it indeed is them, and they will be proceeding on that. It was in the preliminary stages, so who knows when it will happen, but they're the ones that cut down all the blackberries last year and made it look real nice. So anyway, the county is involved in making the rain garden. The park, when they presented the idea before to the club, they said that the park portion of it that we maintain would still be a park. In other words, still be the park. And so they're dealing with primarily the lower section where all the blackberries were. So also we lost at the beginning of the year the gentleman that opened and closed the gate every day. He lives right next to it. Health issues prevented him from proceeding on with that. So you probably Matthew gave you a heads up that they were looking for someone to help me with that, because I just can't go over there twice a day and open the park. I put some signs up, and miraculously a gentleman that lives very close stepped up, and I said, whatever schedule you can work would be great. He says, I can do it the whole time. I go, I was flabbergasted, didn't know how it would shake out, because sometimes words are, people don't follow through, but he's been doing it every day, doing a great job. So he had some ideas also. He was pretty excited about the whole thing. He's got a couple of kids, and he was excited about coming to the park and, having them interacted and everything. And he broached the subject about planting plants. And I said, well, the water isn't hooked up. There's an irrigation system, and it hasn't been used in years, however, because of vandalism. And he promoted an idea about putting a water cistern to catch the rainwater. Great ideas. I said, well, come to a club and please, broach it, because Matthew was very excited about that. So anyway, nothing happening on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to step down from maintenance. Been doing it for a while, and just some little health issues and stuff, and just time marches on, It will be closing September 30th, and then it won't be opening again until April. So there's some time involved in there. It's not that huge of a chore to maintain the park. After about the end of May, the heat comes out, the grass stops growing pretty much. There's still some things to do. Got to empty the trash every day. So my suggestion would be, if you could find someone to do it, if it was a club member without the equipment, they may have to pony up for a lawnmower or something. I've got a riding lawnmower I bring over on a trailer. So, and Rex Trousher did it for many years with the push mower he put in his car. So someone needs either they have to have the equipment, love to do the job, things like that, blower, weed eater, mower, or maybe the club's going to have to pony up for something to do, get the equipment. The second thing would be to hire somebody, perhaps. I don't know. As long as someone is opening and closing it, hiring someone to mow it, like right now, it can be done every 2 weeks, easy, maybe 3. Picking up the garbage once a week, though, is paramount, because we know what can happen if that doesn't happen. So that's the second alternative. And the third one is renegotiate with the county, because I don't know if anyone has been to the park, but there's an anchor there with like a description of how long the West Side Improvement Club has had stewardship of that park. It's over 50 years. And basically the Rex could fill you in on everything. The West Side Improvement agreed to do everything all the time on their dime for all this time. The county has never ponied up they do give us mutt mitts. They gave us 1,000 this year instead of 500. But any other time when I've been involved, I ask them for some help on things, rebuilding the little pavilion thing and stuff. No, we can't do it. Viewpoint Park is what they call a partnership park, which means the partner does all the work. Yeah. So I don't know. That would be something to maybe renegotiate with them. There's
altered.
Yeah, and there's some things, little things. Well, the chain link fence, someone has cut one of the guide wires that holds the fence up, and I'm going to try to fix that. I think I know how to do it, but we'll figure that out. That's not a huge deal. So anyway, but the gentleman that's doing the opening and closing, he might be someone to approach for the whole thing next year, or perhaps have someone else open and close it and let him do the maintenance. So sorry to do that, but yeah. But it's a nice little park. Not much, no graffiti this year. It's a miracle. I can see evidence of some homeless people been in there and making a mess once in a while, but it's not. I haven't heard anything from Mr. Riggins, who's the guy that's opening and closing it. I haven't heard that he's had to kick butt and take names, so to speak. No, but anyway, I guess he's been able to do his job. So,
as per the previous, it's been a while since a previous board member suggested, and the board agreed, that there would be an honorary club membership given to people who are opening and closing the park. Please let him know.
I will. I'll let him know. I don't have his address, but I do have his phone number. So
yeah, put him in touch with Chandra.
Okay.
And let's get him his membership. I would also add a fourth. I believe you gave 3 different options there. I would add a fourth. We already heard how much we're already spending on people we've hired, and hiring someone is one of those areas where it's easy to do it and hard to go back. As an alternative, I would add a fourth option. We get a bid from a landscaping company. And it's even possible we would luck out, and just like Ace Hardware has actually offered to donate labor if we purchase the supplies. We're a 501c3. Let's have somebody donating work to us for a change. So I think I want to contact some landscaping companies and see who's feeling generous.
I would prefer the contract out versus an employee, just because when you have Public Works doing, you're opening your L&I risk up, and your rating will go up. And then you're falling into the injured employee worker. I mean, it's not ideal for the club.
Yeah, that's not a rabbit hole I want to go down.
Just one quick comment. You have to be careful because the area where the park is at is under Public Works on part of it. The other part is the Kitsap County Fair Board. The park is on the listing for Kitsap County Park, but it's only the upper portion.
Only the upper portion.
So it's not a City of Bremerton?
Not the part that you walk in. The part covered by blackberries is part.
The part that's blackberry ones is for the Public Works.
Oh, okay.
Even though they put the drain basin in the parking lot and flush it periodically.
All right.
Can I get that? I have a coworker who is starting a landscaping business. And can I get that information and see if he might be interested in this time? Yes.
Yes. What was your name, ma'am?
My name is
water system.
Liz.
Been secured to that site.
What was the last name again?
Coleman.
Liz Coleman. All right, Chandra, did you hear that?
I mean, I don't want to make any promises, but I at least
did. Yes, if you can give her my information, if he is interested in doing something like that, if he wants to reach out to me with from the email, the WSICgroup@gmail.com, and touch base and make it happen if he's interested.
Can you send me the information and I can pass it along to him?
I can do that as well.
Okay.
If you are willing to give me your Gmail or sorry, your email or some kind of contact information, I can give you the information of what we are looking for. And
are you a member of the club?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so her email should be in her membership records.
Oh, perfect. I can look at that up then.
Perfect.
All right. Chandra, you ready?
So is basically, as far as the T goes, I'm not able to find the information that I was looking for. I will make sure that I can gather all of that up and make sure that it is ready, and I will send it out in an email.
Okay.
Because honestly, when I'm looking at it, the search program that I'm using is not working for me. So I will make sure that I get that out.
Do we have a basics? Do we break even? Are we in the red? Are we in the black?
We did lose some money when it came down to it, I believe. But it was better than last year. And a lot of it came down to we did have a refund and things like that. So we were close to breaking even, but we did not make it.
And our advertising all fell through, so.
Right.
Exactly.
So we're in the red, but with expectations, we're moving towards the black as we keep doing this.
Yes, because the peach jar was supposed to be sent out like a week before the event, and some of them did not ever send it out. And we did get credit back for that, but that was a big part of it. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. I was going to say,
yeah, I mean, we've seen anything good come from Peach Jar. We've used it. It's just somebody's making money off of it.
Same. I've advertised for our school PTA and we've never had a turnout. So
I think you're wasting money on anything on Peach Jar.
All right. Yeah. There is the question. I mean, Peach Jar has helped us in the past, but if it's going to be this inconsistent, the board needs to consider whether we're going to keep throwing money at it.
Yes, and that is basically how I'm feeling as well. I feel like because we have the credits now because of what we tried to do for the so we're going to use those credits, and I don't know that we will continue to use them.
Yep. Spend the credits and we'll be done.
Exactly.
Well, PTA is able to send out peach jars for free, but even then we haven't had a turnout. So
that's pathetic.
It's the same like 5 people that.
Wow.
It's kind of like our government.
Well, but how has Peach Jar helped us in the past ever?
Well, we were able to get a decent turnout for the Halloween event. When we used Peach Jar, we got like almost 800 people who came through the haunt. And a lot of them were saying that they heard about it through Peach Jar.
Okay.
But that it's hit or miss. And that's basically what we're realizing with a lot of these publicity options is that you never know if you're going to hit the right people. Some people who are very interested in artists in the marketplace and those kind of rummage sales and things like that. And then we use the same option for the next event and get nothing back. So we never really know how it's going to go. I
want to move on, but Chandra, I would like to see if I'm curious. The 2 events that I recall that Peach Jar helped with were Halloween and Christmas. It might be good to dig through and see, could Peach Jar only work for basic secular holidays? Anything out of the ordinary and the general public, that may not be the best way.
And I'm thinking if we used Peach Jar for like the kids club, things like that are specifically aimed at the kids.
Yeah.
That might be, but when it comes to personally as a parent, when I receive things from Peach Jar, I don't always go through them. It just says, when we get an email for them, I've noticed in the last couple weeks, it basically just says you have an opportunity for your child, but it doesn't actually specifically say particular event information. So it's very easy to ignore those emails just as another advertisement. So that is something we have to consider. We did get a lot of people who showed up from the signs though.
Okay. That's another thing that I've heard of Marketplace doing in the past. Any artisans at the Marketplace has to create and put up 2 signs. That's a thought. All right, moving on. Let's see. Our Sunshine Committee, and I may be mistaken on this. I put this on the agenda. We need a new chair.
Kayla Sullivan has stepped up.
Who has?
Kayla.
Oh, so we do not need a new chair. I just need to remember who my chairs are.
She just picked up the information or picked up the basket on Sunday, and I'm going to be giving her the information as far as our membership, but we do need more information as far as birthdays for those who want to receive birthday cards. We need your birthday in order to do that. So other than that, yes, we do have a new chair.
Birthdays was a new thing that was introduced by Ruby Blake during the first year of my presidency. Actually, no, that was introduced during the second year of my presidency by Ruby. Yeah, so yeah, we're not going to have birthdays in a lot of the older members or the longtime members. The kitchen, I had ice machine on here. We've already talked about that. Anything else to report as far as the state or status of the kitchen? Do we have a representative of the kitchen? I doubt it.
The only thing as far as the kitchen that I wanted to make note of is we had talked in the past about how the $5 on the soda machine, the extra, hold on, Scarlett. We were offering, they were randomly putting $5 on sodas, and those who won them, you know, would get that perk. I did talk to Bingo, and they actually thought that money was coming out of the bingo expenses, not the kitchen expenses. So they are willing to take on that expense because it has increased our usage of the soda machine, so that we no longer have to keep the sodas in the fridge and take up the space. But the bingo, it has taken on that expense, not the kitchen.
Okay. Good to know. New business. The leadership has been talking about, there is a the Wings Over Washington Air Show. Let me see. It says see leadership chat. I should probably have put more information here myself.
It says Bremerton National Airport, August 19th and 20th. Volunteers needed, and you get free lunch, you get a shirt, you get free admission to see the show, you get free parking, and they just need 5 or more volunteers. So you are doing the volunteer hours, but then they kind of pay you for it.
Well, no, it says organizations send 5 or more volunteers to this event and receive a donation based upon the number sent. So this is something we can do as a little mini fundraiser if we can just stir together 5 people willing to volunteer.
August.
What was the date of that event?
August 19th and 20th.
Thank you.
I would love to volunteer. Consider me floating on this, though. I can't commit because my solar team, I'm their events person, and August, we have 9 events that my team is doing. So I'm going to be coordinating. I'm going to be the ringmaster of a 3-ring circus. If in the middle of that, I can come and help out, great. But so include me in communication, but signs point to no.
It's a public event, and the second airstrip is for public parking, and they're expecting to fill up that whole like playground and restaurant side. So they're expecting it to be a big event.
So what are you volunteering to help with the parking then?
Well, I think
wherever they need you.
They volunteer to help with the air show. They will give you basic duties as an usher of some area.
It's all day.
Yeah, who knows? You might be
like blocks of hours. What time is all day?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say. If we can get a list of people willing to donate some hours, Susie, will you reach out to them and communicate and say we have your 5 people? What do we do?
Yeah, there's contact information here, and I don't know if it's filled up or not. They just posted this, you know, and then I forwarded it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was cool.
Do we have a show of hands willing to donate an unspecified number of hours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. Tell them we have 5.
We can just do one day. And yeah, there's contact information here. I think it's really cool. So
Will you contact them for details?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you to those who have volunteered. That is an amazing turnout. We definitely need more volunteers as we push forward.
Yep. And Kayla says that she might put her with me, that she's a floater. We might be able to please include her in the communication. So yeah, let's find out more about what's needed. And if it's the kind of, if I can just donate a couple of hours at some point, that'll make it easier for me.
Yeah, I'm more interested in all volunteer, but I want to know what the return is for the club.
Yeah, it just says based on the number of volunteers. So I think.
So the number of volunteers, if we can get that up, let's all spread the word. And this is a way that we can get a little bit of money coming back into the club. And it sounds like fun.
It sounds like fun. You get a shirt and lunch.
Yeah.
Admission to see the show.
I mean, you had me at food. All right. This brings us to bylaws. Huh?
I don't think we've gotten together and did.
No, that's the main thing, is we need to get together, and we are updating the bylaws again. It's that time again. So anyone who's interested, please reach out to Chandra, WSICgroup@gmail.com, and just tell her you're interested. We need to get it together.
When it comes to the bylaws, we're just updating things that we have adjusted throughout the last year or two that we've approved by the membership and the board that we just need to make sure are represented in our bylaws.
All right. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is we're talking about having a, what was the term? Having an at-large member of the board, which would, they would only count if we need a quorum. So that would be something that would assist with making sure we can have board meetings.
Well, that and our bylaws need to update that we have reduced the amount of our board members from, I believe, 7 to 5.
Oh, good point.
And executive director.
Yes, and the executive director position would be added into that, but that would be our next.
Yeah, speaking of which, we need to finalize our executive director. So this position combines a number of different duties. And it's been, I just want to say it's been easier. Last 90 days have been great. Having somebody on top of all the little things. There are just too many jobs around here that cannot be done by volunteers.
Now, something as far as the executive director finalization, something that we discussed at the board meeting but has not been finalized is whether or not the events chair would be included in the executive director position, because that would increase my hours.
Yep. Yeah, the events chair is the last bit. As far as I'm concerned, the events chair is too many hours for a volunteer to do properly.
But that one would be like, you know, more hours one week and not as much the next.
Yeah.
Would be hard to
We talked about that it would probably be a maximum of 100 hours a month.
Yeah.
And you know, so then maybe this week it might be 25 hours, another week it might be 20, another one might be 30 hours. But no more than 100 per month.
Yeah.
For an events chair or
for the executive director total.
Oh, total. Okay.
Total.
Just for the executive or just for events. I was like, that's a lot of hours.
I mean, if you're willing, you're just saying. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Dream on.
Right now we have it capped at 20, right? 15 is the average, is that what?
Yes, and that was something that we had talked about at the last board meeting, was potentially when there are events of like that require more attention, that we could potentially boost it up to 25 for the week. And that's where they were saying that maybe the $100 or the 100 hours per month would be easier to distribute.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Could you have a co-chair in a volunteer position that might be able to help?
Well, that would be no different than having an events chair. And so far that hasn't been successful.
It's like chair of everything.
Everything.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So,
With the note that cannot exceed more than 40 hours in one payroll cycle.
Yeah.
Not overtime.
No overtime.
Correct, and that is something that we need to make sure that we add into the documentation and the, hold on, Scarlett. Sorry.
Parenting.
Oh, yes. So that is something we would not need to add to the job description and the agreement, that there would never be any overtime offered, but it would be no more than 100 hours per week. Sorry, yes, per month.
So 40. Yeah, try and get 100 hours a weekend.
I do that just in motherhood.
Oh, yeah. That's 24/7.
Yep. All right, so what is our next move? As I understand it, this 90-day trial is now over. Does that mean unless we finalize, you would not continue to be paid?
That is correct.
Sally?
I move that we extend the probationary period another 60 days, so then we can get all this right up and all finalized.
Perfect.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
And just for comparison, I know I've heard some gas for 100 hours a month for an executive director. I can tell you that your bingo manager does approximately about 130 hours a month. So
yeah,
so she's, you know, not here. She's not working as many hours as your bingo manager, but she's got, I don't want to say more duties, but she has equal amount of duties between rental manager, events manager, liaison, gopher, maintenance.
no, let's list them all. Rental manager, webmaster, events chair, publicity chair, membership chair. All of those duties, huh?
HR as well. I think that is something potentially would be added.
And the HR portions that should never have been our treasurer's duties in the first place.
Exactly.
Have all been rolled into the new executive director position.
I don't know if they want, this is her duties and responsibilities.
Okay. We have that finalized?
There was a draft floating around. I'm not sure where it's at now, but I think
it's right there.
I think we just need to add a couple more things. Was there events on there?
It looks like.
Yeah.
But I don't see it.
Events has not been added to that. That was one of the things that was pending from the last board meeting.
It just said assist with events.
Assisting in event preparation, scheduling, seeking out vendors, event planning coordination. I think this is the latest one.
Yeah, that's the latest one.
Publicity, webmaster, human resources, security, communications, training. Yeah. Yeah, send that to her and see if maybe she's got an older version.
Yeah. And once it's finalized, let's please send that out to the club. I agree with the 60-day extension. I think that would be good. Make sure that everybody in the club needs to be comfortable with this. But Yeah, it's been quite a relief.
I appreciate you saying, Matthew, because it has been a lot of work. It has been an adjustment, and there has been a learning curve. But it is something that I do feel like has been making a difference, and I hope that others can see that as well.
Yeah.
And I can also attest that there is brief descriptions of what her time has been allocated to. So at any time we can go back to the time sheet and say, okay, she spent this amount of time on publicity, this amount on webmaster, this amount on whatever. So it's documented as to what she's doing and how much time she's being spent on. And we did that purposely so that way we can go back and say, okay, one, how many hours are you spending on XYZ? And then that's probably why we came up with those numbers for the events, but or the total number of hours is because that's what she's been doing the last 3 to 4 months.
All right, there's a motion on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I am just staying out of it as there is a conflict of interest.
Of course, thank you. Duly noted. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Another 60 days. All right. That brings us to the raffle. No, that's right. How do I? Oh, that's right. The link is right here. This is so convenient. Whoever did this. Oh, yeah. That would be you.
That's just all part of the job. Yeah, no.
Pull up the wheel of names. Click to spin.
Where's the call? Here's prize.
All right. So do we remove or just spin again?
Yes, remove.
Remove.
So
and spin. And then spin again.
Yep. And just make sure we keep track, a list of the ones who have brought up so that they know that they missed opportunity having not been here.
Let's be sure and rub it in Borka Valerie's face. I think
she was just at the Artisan Marketplace.
I have a feeling that some of these names got in backwards. Could that be our homeschoolers?
Actually, she was one that joined from events.
Yeah, but is her name Valerie Borka or Borka Valerie?
Yes, last name first.
Okay. Removed. Last spin. Cross fingers that it be somebody in the room. Megan Aquinta. Oh. I'm gonna let Maureen know that her daughter could have won if they just showed up. We'll close that out. Did you get all those names, Kayla?
Why do you only spend 3 times?
Yeah. That's a tradition that extends before my time. All right. Who's going to sign up for snacks for next month?
September.
Who's going to sign up for snacks for September? All right. So Greg has set the bar.
I know.
I'm missing out on Greg's goodies. I'm sad. If he doesn't want, if nobody else signs up, Chandra K will sign up for September.
No, we've got somebody.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. When is the club cleanup?
July 1st, I believe. Let me double check that. It's the first weekend in July. It's that first Saturday. Yes, July 1st, which will also be a picnic to follow. So a barbecue to follow for everybody who participated in the cleanup. And
excellent.
Can I just take one moment? I would really like to recognize Greg Mitchell. He has done an amazing job and has done above and beyond to cleaning the grounds in the last couple weeks. Your work and your hard work has not gone unnoticed, and we thank you so much. And honestly, I wish you would have won the raffle tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, Greg.
Starting the wheel, would it behoove the club to let it be cumulative? We wouldn't be missing out.
Well, that's a tradition. Is that in the bylaws there, Rex?
No. There's nothing in the bylaws. It was, at the time we were doing it, we had about 175 members. And when we would draw the 3 names, it went in our monthly newsletter to tell who wasn't here, so it would encourage them to come to the meetings.
So, public shaming.
So at the end, they came in December, they said, well, we should have somebody go until they win. So December was keep on drawing until somebody got it.
Well, I mean, the fund normally is $25. If somebody
Oh, have the fund be cumulative.
I mean, it's budgeted. It's budgeted.
Their losses are.
Ooh.
And I
Is that a
I can talk to the treasurer to make sure that.
I would like to move that become a ongoing rule.
Let's make it only $5 increase then, not $25 each time.
Okay, but
oh, wait, we have a motion on the table.
I would like to move that the motion be a cumulative $25 for every month that it is not claimed, and potentially someone could get a really big jackpot just for showing up to the meeting. I think that is big incentive.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We know what Rex thinks. He wants it to just be $5.
I think it needs to be brought to the budgetary people to figure out whether we can afford to do that.
It's budgeted. $25 times 12 is. It's already.
Yeah, it's already in.
In case it didn't go each time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be a max.
So
Yeah,
what do we do at the end of the year in December then if we keep on drawing until it goes?
Well, yeah, so in December, if nobody's collected from January to November, then whatever 12 times 25 is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
150 people from members being here, and
This sounds like a great way to get people to come.
November, then December is only 25
Win-win.
bucks. Yeah.
You're really selling me on this.
And make sure you put in the newsletter that it's cash, that there will be cash.
All right. Any further discussion? Yes.
So I was asked about the flagpole out front.
Yes.
And could I do something with it? Yes, the troop can do that. It needs to get re-rigged. There's 2 bolts that run through the bottom of it. They welded the bottom one and not the top one. I'll fix that. I'll sawzall the one off and fix it so that it now is not 8 inches above the ground to sand, and that it'll be 2 feet. Plus I can pull that, use some Egyptian leverage on it. I think I'm going to run the wire all the way down the bottom with a padlock on the bottom so that you can raise the flag without getting on a ladder.
Shannon, you have another reason to introduce you to the Scoutlands.
Make sure he has my personal information, please. I would very much like to connect with you.
Yes. Back to the motion on the
That's what
table.
I was just gonna say, point of order.
Yeah, point of order. Back to the motion on the table. Any further discussion? Rex.
the flagpole.
Not really.
No.
About the raffle.
The all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Go ahead, Rex.
Now, fun, yeah.
I expect a minority report. Motion carries.
Woohoo!
What were you gonna say?
Flagpole. The reason that the connection got moved up the pole to about 7 or 8 feet was that we kept having people cutting the line, and then we would have to lower the pole to re-rig it. So we raised it up above where you had to have a step ladder to change the flag or even to lower it at half mast. So
it's easy enough to make a cable for it.
They kept cutting the cable as well. They kept cutting the cable.
As thick as it is now?
We'll let you guys work that out. All right.
And I'm sorry, what was your name?
Rob.
Increasingly useful person. All right. All right. Adjournment at 8:07.
I don't know. Alex out on Friday, do those?
No.
Who was it that agreed to do snacks for September?
Good pallets.
And
They used to be with me.
Who was it that agreed to be the snacks provider for September?
me and Reg.
Juanita and Rich.
I was gonna bring it up.
Juanita and Rich has it for September. Bingo. Thank you.
Your lips.
Thank you.
I can recommend that very easily. I have a.
So that's between you and him. One pallet guy to another.
They just, like you said, they disappear.
Yep.
Per day.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and that's trial.
All right. Kayla, thank you so much. You're doing great. Talk to you guys later.